Rats. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So after debuting on the PGA Tour a few weeks ago, Odyssey has just released its latest line of zero torque putters. Say hello to the Odyssey square-to-square Tri-Hot family of putters. Now, over the last year, Odyssey has really gone all in with its square-to-square family of putters. Square-to-square in Odyssey parlance is being zero torque. And in the newest line, the Tri-Hot family, the company is taking some technologies that it has used in the past and combining them with a new face insert that is very, very interesting. And it's created one of the more intriguing families of zero torque putters that I've seen before. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you what is new and what you need to understand about the square-to-square Tri-Hot putters. And I'm going to also try and tell you how they differ and how they're similar to other zero torque offerings that we've seen from Odyssey. So let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to notice, obviously, with the Tri-Hot family of putters is that the color scheme right away is going to be eye-catching and it's going to be very different. In the previously released square-to-square putters, we have seen black, we've seen white, we've seen very traditional sort of colorings. All the shapings have been sometimes unique. When you look down at the Tri-Hot series, you're going to get black and red. And this harkens back to the original Tri-Hot putters that Callaway and Odyssey released several years ago. So the colorings and the graphics of the Tri-Hot putters are going to be certainly eye-catching. The biggest story really is centered around the face and a new type of face that Odyssey has placed in these putters. There's two different types of urethane that have been used to create these putters. One that's very soft, the white one, and one that's much firmer, the black one. And they've been put together and sort of arranged in a way using artificial intelligence to try and normalize ball speed across a greater portion of the hitting area here. That should help to give you better distance control, according to Odyssey. But what's really new about this face is that it has a series of grooves that point downward at about a 19-degree angle. And according to the company, these downward-facing grooves are going to help to grab the back of the golf ball and get it rolling, applying top spin, so that instead of balls bouncing and hopping after you make contact, they're going to create a better, more even roll. So the combination working together of the two urethanes for better distance control and the roll-inducing or roll-enhancing groove technology should, according to Odyssey, help you get more consistent results when you're putting. Now, the original Tri-Hot putters that Odyssey released a few years ago were unique because Odyssey really concentrated a lot of weight in the heel and the toe area way up in the front, and that helped to increase the moment of inertia, the MOI, to increase the stability of the putter on mishits. Well, in this series now, the square-to-square Tri-Hots, you're going to get a very similar thing. You can see there's massive tungsten weights that have been positioned way up in the front in the heel and the toe area, and that's going to shift the center of gravity location, again, forward. Now, what's really interesting with regard to that is that you'll notice that the shaft goes into the top line, which is relatively thick, but the shaft goes into the top line on this, and that's different from what you typically see in a zero-torque putter. Usually, because the center of gravity location is a little bit further back from the hitting area, you're going to get a little bit more forward lean in the shaft of zero torque putters. But because most of the weight is concentrated up in the front, it allowed Odyssey's designers to make the square-to-square Tri-Hot putters with no forward shaft lean. The shaft goes straight down from your hands into the club head here. So the look in the address position is going to be much more like a traditional mallet putter, and you're going to have less onset. Yes, the hitting area is in front of the shaft, so you'll get a really nice look at the golf ball, but it's not the big forward press or the forward hand position that you typically get in zero torque putters. Now, behind those massive pieces of tungsten, you can see all of this red material here is very lightweight aluminum, and it's been completely bored out, which in effect means that the entire back section of the putter is cosmetic. There's very, very little weight here in the back. All of the weight has been concentrated up in the front in this black section here, which is the stainless steel with the two large tungsten weights. So what I find fascinating about the Odyssey square-to-square Tri-Hot putters is that the three of them really are examples of putters that a couple of years ago, when you talk to people about zero torque, it really wasn't something that we thought was ever going to come about or something that would seem to be a struggle. Zero torque putters had very unique, atypical, non-traditional shaped heads. Well, the three Tri-Hot putters that the Odyssey has just released are all very familiar to just about every golfer out there. There's a number 7 style, which has been super popular. There's a Rossi, super popular. And again, this Jailbird has been around for a long time and a lot of players like it. So we've already transitioned from really unique, non-traditional heads into very common, user-friendly heads that people have experience with and that they really like. Odyssey is also showing that it can reduce the amount of forward press or the hand position in the front, which is really off-putting to a lot of players who wanted to get into something zero torque. So a couple of the barriers to entry getting people from their traditional putters, if they're curious about zero torque but they just couldn't get over the looks, well, we've all seen putters that look like this. Well, they don't like the forward hand position or the forward press. Well, now there is no forward press. Your hands are going to be going straight down towards the golf ball, and yet you're still getting the advantage of zero torque. You're still getting a putter that, by its own weight and balance, wants to keep the face and the hitting area square to your stroke path, and that is what is going to give you that zero torque condition and the consistency on the greens. You're going to be able to return the face back to where you set it up in the address position, get your golf ball rolling, ideally on your intended target line more often. And you have the balancing on the head that's going to want to keep the face square to your path and get the putt rolling on your intended target line more often. This is the type of putter that, if you have struggled to make putts, if you have struggled for consistency on the greens, this is the type of putter you should probably be looking at. So Odyssey made this square-to-square Tri-Hot Jailbird putter available to me, and I brought it here to TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut, home of the Travelers Championship, to put it through its paces and get a feel for exactly how this putter behaves and how it performs, and if there's a difference between this putter and other previously released square-to-square putters from Odyssey. And I can tell you right away, when you put the putter down behind the golf ball, you see that sort of different style of alignment feature. It's really subtle. It's not a strong lineup, but when you have the shaft going directly into the top line, even though you've got the alternating red and black Jailbird stripes in the back, those sort of old Versa stripes that some of you may remember, there's not a lot of room for a big alignment feature. So it's a subtle little mark, almost like a crosshairs. If you've done any type of shooting or looked through a gun sight, this is what you see, is basically some type of a crosshair system like this. It's subtle, but my eye immediately goes to that crosshair and I can see just a little bit of the white urethane insert there. So those two sort of strips, to me, help me when I look down at the putter to sort of see exactly where that face is aimed. The shaft goes directly in. So my hand position, when I'm at the address position here, it's not far forward. I don't have the big forward press or the forward shaft lean, and my hands aren't way out in front. It's the most subtle onset that I have seen so far in a zero torque putter. Felt pretty good there. I have never been a huge fan of the white hot inserts. Now, I don't know if it's the 19-degree down angle on the grooves in the face or what else is happening here. To me personally, this is the best feeling insert that I've had in my hands from Odyssey. It's just the right blend of sort of softness and firmness. And again, that maybe makes sense because artificial intelligence ran thousands of different simulations to figure out exactly how to make the softer area of the urethane on the top mesh with the firmer, darker urethane underneath it in certain places so that you get a better, more consistent roll. The speed at which the ball is going to come off this face has basically been normalized across a wider portion of the hitting area. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I've traditionally used a milled putter, which has a more crisp, firmer feel to it. And when I've tried many different inserts in the past, I often find that they are simply just too soft. It's really can be a pretty radical change depending on exactly what the insert is for me to go from a milled feel to an insert feel. But to this, it feels really, really good. Short putts like these have felt really solid. Long putts, the ball just seems to roll and track. Do I make every putt? Of course not. No, absolutely not. I don't expect to make every putt, but I would like to be able to get a good roll. And when I've got a zero torque putter in my hand, especially these mallet style putters that are a little bit larger, sort of like Jailbird, I find that the swing of this putter is tremendously good. I think Odyssey, is with the square to square in the larger mallets, has really found its groove, and these putters are very easy to swing and just let it go on sort of automatic pilot, if you will. It's something that you get your swing started, stay out of the way, let the putter and physics take care of everything else for you. And if you've read the putt correctly and you start to get a feel for how the ball is going to roll off of this insert and the speed and the force at which you need to get the ball to the hole, you're going to give yourself, I think, a lot of really good chances to make putts. And that's pretty much all I can ask from any style of putter, a zero torque putter or a traditional weighted putter. Let me make a better quality stroke, give me a good sense of distance control and feel, and help me line it up so I can get the ball, rolling on my intended target line. If a putter can do those three things, I'm going to perform better on the greens. And I really think that the Square to Square Tri-Hot series from Odyssey, the new ones, I think they do that really, really well. So I think that's probably just about everything you need to know about the Odyssey Square-to-Square Tri-Hot family of putters. But if you have some questions or if you have any comments that you'd like to share with me, please drop them in the comment area below. I do try and monitor my comment area and answer questions for you. I'd love to be a resource that you can reach out to help you understand golf equipment better, make better purchasing decisions, and hopefully get better stuff to match up with your game in your bag. And if you did get some good information out of this video and you found it to be pretty interesting, it would also be really helpful for me if you would smash that like button as well as subscribe to my channel. It helps me out tremendously. So thanks very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon.